Well, you know what, Eamon? I think the initial, when he went down initially, the uncertainty and the very disturbing word, partial tear, I'm not sure they really counted on Bobby being a factor anytime in the relative soon future. So, big picture, I think they were sort of, softened the blow that you lose him for the entire season. So I think in one respect, the fact that he's going to have the surgery now, the fact that it is Tommy John that's coming his way, it's just a shame. I think the team was somewhat prepared for worst case scenario, and unfortunately for Bobby, that's what's happened.
Some off-season moves now that were kind of under the radar, almost you would say taking flyers on a couple of veteran relievers, Kyle Farnsworth and Jose Valverde, now paying more immediate dividends than probably the Mets had hoped for. But right now, in the immediate future, Bobby, Tuesday night they have a chance to close that ball game out against the Braves. Who's coming in to pitch the ninth inning?
Well, right now, Valverde, it's his job to lose, realistically. And, the importance of a closer, it just can't be understated. In my opinion, your closer is your number 4 hitter and your ace rolled into one, because those guys are a different breed. My ace can have a bad day. My 4 can pick him up. My bad day, my ace pick. A closer is a closer. And, you saw the Mets win the other night because of the lack of Chapman on Cincinnati's team. So Valverde's the closer for now. I think it does necessitate an open mind in that bullpen, and certainly speeds up the lack of patience for anyone who can't fill a role, because time is of the essence when wins are paramount, and you can't afford to let people try people out, if you will, see if they've still got it. It becomes imperative to find answers right away. And as you said, under-the-radar moves have come front and center. But we'll see how that plays out, because those moves haven't been determined to be good moves or not yet.
Now, Bobby, that leads me to my next question. You know the young arms in this organization down on the farm probably as well as anybody. You see them in spring training at Florida. Who are they tempted now to maybe rush up and say, let's see how he can help us out in the bullpen? Who are the guys that you think they're really thinking about right now coming up to the big league club?
I think in their mindset, I think Walters, because Walters had such a great year in Double-A, he's a proven reliever in the minor leagues. There's no guarantee that he'll do well in the major leagues, but I think he's got to be on the radar. I don't think because of this news they want to force-feed Montero into a middle relief situation. I think that the sense of urgency with this news has to settle, and I think they have to, let everything work itself out for the next day or 2 or 3. There's a big road trip coming up, a lot of tough teams. See how the team responds. See how the team accepts this bad news that Bobby is not going to be back. At least had he been out for a month, you still thought, okay, we're going to get our closer back. So I think we're going to have to be patient for this road trip, but I certainly believe if this road trip turns in a bad way, it's going to necessitate looking at a Walters or looking at a Montero, but it won't feel like they rushed into it. In other words, to make a move right now, I think would feel like, oh my gosh, it was a panic move. I think they're cool enough to keep their heads, see how this road trip plays out, and then act accordingly.
Bobby, obviously there's a human element here that the fans and the media probably don't understand. You do. You live through the wear and tear that you put on your left arm during your career. Just sort of, how would you describe the compassion you have right now for Bobby Parnell after going through the neck surgery and the rehab to get back to opening day and now have to deal with Tommy John surgery earlier or later on this week?
Well, there's a pit in my stomach. I'm not being dramatic. There's a pit in my stomach because Bobby Parnell is a fine young man, and he's worked so hard to come back from that major neck surgery, and now you went through the pain of that. You got to remember, that's pretty painful. Now you're going to get the pain of Tommy John surgery. So just the fact that this young man, on a human basis, has to go through this much pain in such a relatively short period of time is devastating. The fact that his career is in jeopardy, because anyone who goes through Tommy John, the career is in jeopardy. There's no guarantees. I believe it's an 85% success rate. But as a former player, as a player who's gone through my surgeries, there's a pit in my stomach and a bit of heartbreak for Bobby Parnell. He's a tough kid. I do find it amazing, though. He did say the other day, and I found this ironic, he said, well, I didn't even know I was hurt. I wasn't even going to mention anything because I could have gone back out there. Very similar to what Harvey said last year, almost word for word. Well, I didn't even know I was hurt. I was ready to go back out there. It just tells you the mindset of a pitcher That's how cherished our time is on the mound, competing against others. There's nothing funner. There's nowhere we'd rather be than on that mound. And when it gets ripped away from you, it's difficult to take mentally and emotionally, as well as physically.